Today I will explain a sci-fi and thrilling story. So let's get started. The year was 1928. On an exploration in the snowy Karakoram mountains of India, a mountaineer encounters a glowing orb of ice. The mountaineer tried to break it. After breaking away a piece of ice with his pickaxe, he is blinded by a fierce and frightful light. After some time he finds himself waking after a sudden loss of consciousness. The glowing orb of ice from before has vanished, but strangely he finds a scar on his hand. Fast forward to the present day. At Princeton University, a famed astrobiologist, Professor Helen Benson, goes home to make dinner for her stepson Jacob when she receives a miscellaneous phone call that they are on their way to pick her up. When she asks who they are, at the same time there was a knock on the door. United States government police comes in front of her house and hastily tell her she is under federal protection and must leave with them immediately. They arrive at Ft. Linwood in New Jersey, where she goes with others in a conference room and is shown that a large unknown object will crush with a speed of approximately 1/10 the speed of light is due to impact Manhattan in almost 78 minutes. She goes on a helicopter along with a group of other scientists to develop a survival plan. Just as they brace themselves for impact, but shockingly everything was quiet. Apparently the unknown object has slowed down and is not going to crash. Dr. Benson turns around to look out the window on the helicopter just in time to see a large bright sphere coming the ground. It is a spaceship and it lands very gently in Central Park. A being named Klaatu emerges from the spaceship. At that place the military has established a confinement. Just as Dr. Benson is about to shake hands with the alien, it gets shotted by a military soldiers. Then a gigantic robot appears, emitting a sound that paralyzes all humans and disrupts all electrical systems in New York City. Before the robot can take the being back, it is ordered to shut down by the being. The being is taken up by the military and rushed to the military hospital, where the doctors revive the dying being. A surgeon is brought in to remove the bullet. While he was removed the bullet, he notices that the being's outer layer is a jelly substance much like whale blubber, and it begins to fall off on its own. The theory of this was the being's placenta, much like a human baby, and that it was born here on Earth. In 1928, when it landed the first time, the patch of skin removed from the mountaineer's hand was a DNA sample so the being could replicate itself into human form. The being is directly put into an incubator while it grows. After some time we see a full-grown human inside the incubator. Once fully grown and awake, he begins to thrash around in the incubator, and the first person there to speak to him is Dr. Benson. While recovering, he is interviewed by United States Secretary of Defense Regina Jackson, Dr. Michael Granier and Dr. Benson. He introduces himself as Klaatu. He informs them that he is a representative of a group of alien races sent to talk to the world leaders. Jackson laughs at this and tells him that she is the nearest he is going to get to their president and to just tell her what he wants. Klaatu don't trust her word and he refuses, so she orders others to send Klaatu to a secure location and be drugged and interrogated. Dr. Benson volunteers to do the honors of drugging him, but instead injects him with a solution of saline while whispering to him, "Run." During the polygraph, Klaatu manages to take mind control of the interrogator and escapes. He makes it as far as a train station, but then his wound for before opens and he needs Dr. Benson's help. Dr. Benson is at home with Jacob when she gets the call from the train station from Klaatu, asking for her help, and she rushes over there with Jacob in the back seat. After leaving the train station, they are trailed by the authorities throughout New York, New Jersey, and the forested highlands. The presence of the spaceship has caused a worldwide panic. The United States military tries to attack sphere-like spaceship and robot whose name is Gort, but shockingly the robot actives and destroyed the unmanned aerial vehicles that launch Hellfire missiles. At a restaurant, Klaatu meets with a Mr. Wu. We learn that he is another alien who has been living in Earth for 70 years and has been assigned by the same group of alien civilization. Upon learning from him of humanity's destructive tendencies, Klaatu determined that humans shall be exterminated to ensure that the planet Earth, with its rare ability to assist complex life, can survive. Mr. Wu decides to stay on Earth, having seen another side to humanity that he loves. Klaatu can't see this love, so he orders smaller spheres like spaceship previously hidden on Earth to begin taking animal species off the planet. This is compared to Noah and his ark and the flood that destroys the world. Meanwhile, the robot is subjected to experiments in an underground facility in Virginia. It then transforms itself into a swarm of insect-like nanites that begin destroying human or other things in their path back to Manhattan, including an armored battalion of the U.S. Army. Dr. Benson tries to convince Klaatu that the world is not bad and that humans can change the Earth for the better, but Klaatu was still unconvinced. She then takes him to the home of Nobel Prize-winning Professor Barnhart, where they discuss how Klaatu's own species that went through a drastic evolution to survive its own star destruction. Klaatu is convinced by Helen and Jacob that humans can change their ways and are worth saving. However, instead of quietly sleeping in the next room, Jacob calls 800 hotline and reports where Klaatu is. He quickly learns his mistake when Dr. Benson is captured by military personnel and he is left alone with Klaatu. The two of them keep heading towards the sphere. Meanwhile, Regina Jackson realizes that convincing the alien to change its mind might be the only way to ensure the survival of humanity. Helen is allowed to leave and together with Dr. Michael Granier they meet with Jacob and Klaatu at a cemetery. At the cemetery, Jacob leads Klaatu to the place where his father is buried. Jacob begs Klaatu to use his powers and bring his father back to life. Klaatu says, "I can't do that, any dead person can't be brought back to life." He consoles Jacob by explaining how no one ever truly dies because the universe has a use for everything. Everything is just transformed into something else. At this moment, Helen and Michael arrive. Helen tells Jacob how much she missed his father and they share a good cry. The scene between the two of them convinces Klaatu to save humanity. Klaatu now understands the other side that Mr. Wu loves about humans. Klaatu says he will try to stop it and they head towards the sphere. Dr. Benson notices something is odd the way the entire town has been evacuated and how when after driving through a roadblock they are not chased by the military vehicles. As they approach the sphere, she yells for Michael to stop the car. Just then, a targeted missile strike authorized by the president hits the sphere. It blasts the car into a tree and kills Michael. Just then the nanobot Cloud arrives. Klaatu warns that even if he manages to stop Gort, there will be a price to the human way of life. There is not enough time to make it to the spaceship so they run towards a footbridge to hide under. But inside Jacob and Dr. Benson have bloody noses. It is revealed that they have been infected by the nanites and are already starting to die. She requests Klaatu to save Jacob. Klaatu saves both of them by transferring the infection to his own body, then sacrifices himself to stop Gort by walking through the nanites to the sphere and touching it and disappeared from there. His actions cause the sphere to emit a massive EMP which destroys Gort, saving humanity, but at the price of Earth's technology becoming useless and immobile. As the sphere is leaving, Jacob realizes that Klaatu didn't die. He just merged into the giant sphere. The spheres surrounding the whole Earth leave with the giant sphere spaceship. That's how the story ends. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this one and click the like button.